everybody. This is Mrs. Beichner, and I'm going to really quickly explain to you a little bit about how to do this Civics Mind Map that you're taking a look at. The idea of this assignment is that it should be sort of a wrap-up and a review assignment for this whole first semester of civics before you start in on the second part of the class, and that is economics. So what we're going to have you do is sort of take a look back at the main topics of civics and try to kind of combine them together or tie them together into one image. When we talk about a mind map, we're talking about something that's like a visual representation of information. So this type of thing right here that you're seeing on the screen is what you're looking at with the central image, and then other images connected off, right, with visible lines. So if you take a look at your instruction sheet, you'll notice that the first thing that I'm asking you to do is to brainstorm out terms in the table on the back. So you've got 4 big categories back here. These are like the 4 big topics from civics. The 3 branches of government, the legislative branch, right, Congress, executive branch, and the president, and the judicial branch, which is the court system, state courts, federal courts, etc. And then the 4th category, or rather the first one that's up here, is the stuff from the beginning of the year when you were talking about foundations of American history. So, you know, popular sovereignty, the Constitution, John Locke's ideas, the Declaration of Independence, you know, checks and balances. Those kinds of ideas and terms would belong in this first category here. You're going to brainstorm out as many terms as you can, at least minimum 10 terms per category. More is great. And then once you've got the terms that you think you want to work with, you're going to try to look at them and kind of subdivide them into separate categories. So if we take a look at some example ones here, you'll notice that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 main branches, and then you've sort of got each term kind of subdivided or connected to another little cluster of terms. That's particularly important. Here's another example, right? Central thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Ideas. That it's not just that everything is directly off of the 4 main, but they're all in kind of like a little cluster. So Congress and then terms tied to Congress, right? So those sort of the basic ideas that you should be working with as you go through the mind map itself. Ideally, the mind map is clear, it's colorful, it's clearly planned out, so it's not just sort of like slapped together on the page. It needs to include a minimum of 40 terms. If you need more than that, that's excellent. With those 40 terms, you need at least 15 small images or symbols. These don't have to be like, you know, perfectly drawn little pictures. They can be small things, but accompanying some of the various terms themselves. Each of the 4 branches needs to be color-coded, so you need to pick kind of like a color for foundations, color for legislative branch, a color for executive, and a color for judicial to keep things sort of visually coded. And you need also to make sure that every single thing is connected to something else. So you shouldn't have anything just kind of floating around out there without a logical connection into the center. At the center of the sheet, you should have that symbol and image. You saw on the 2, there was a flag, there was government building, there are a lot of other things you could do. Consider sort of things that make sense as symbols for American government. The more connections that you have on the mind map, the better. And the more terms that you have on the mind map, the better as well. So feel free to really dig back into your notes, etc. And consider this, again, kind of a topic ending project for civics as we look forward to beginning economics when we come back from break. Thanks, guys.